So you want to move to Vietnam. I am here to help. So I'm going to give you a quick little checklist in this video of things you need when moving to Vietnam from the US. So first and foremost, when you are moving here, you need a visa to enter the country. So for us American citizens, you can get 90 days visa free. And sometimes, so what people do here is after that 90 days, they do a visa run and leave the country and come back. And then redo the 90 days. Not everybody does this. Some people just leave and then go to another country, but that is something that some people do. After you get the visa, packing, I'm telling you, do not pack heavy. Because sometimes there's this possibility that you'll be moving from province to province, so I would pack very light. The best one that all the expats are moving to right now is Da Nang. Da Nang is like Miami basically in Vietnam. Like the beach is beautiful, there's a lot to do, it's fun. After Da Nang, there's other provinces. I lived in Da Nang for 7 months, it was really nice. And then there's Ho Chi Minh, that is the biggest hub for expats. You will meet a lot of people there. It is very, very nice. And then what else? The Hanoi. That's where I'm near. I'm near Hanoi. So there's 3 big cities: Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, and Da Nang. Da Nang is in the center. Hanoi is in the north, and Ho Chi Minh is in the south. Down south, it's hotter. It's very hot. It's hot and humid. Up here in the north, there's actually times of winter where I actually had to buy a coat. Yeah, a coat in Vietnam because it was so cold. And then Da Nang is like a middle. It's nice and summery there, but at the same time, they also have typhoons there sometimes. So it's nice, and in the summer they have the typhoons. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on the typhoon summer thing. And then, so after you got your visa, your flight, which from the US, Vietnam is pretty far, so the flight's gonna be around $1,000, but there's ways you can find cheaper flights. I recommend Skyscanner. Then you have your flight, you have your visa, and you've packed summer. Don't just pack. I was gonna say pack summer clothes, but don't just pack summer clothes. Pack like at least 2 weeks, because you can also get clothes here for a pretty good price clothes. So, and Shein works here too. If you don't want to buy it in person, you could also buy it on Shein. I actually bought clothes on Shein recently. So those are the 3 big things when moving to Vietnam: visa, flight, and packing. Once you get here and you want to buy an apartment, or not buy an apartment, rent an apartment, there are multiple Facebook groups to be able to find apartments. I would recommend doing Facebook groups, and I also would not recommend getting the apartment before you get here. Sometimes the pictures are not what they seem. I would recommend getting to Vietnam. Once you enter Vietnam, go to the apartment and see if you like it. That's what we did. We went to the apartment, saw we liked it, and we sticked with it. Rent right now, okay, if you want to go to Da Nang, I'm telling you, rent right now is literally skyrocketing, because right now a lot of expats are moving to Da Nang. So the rent, when I first moved last year, it was pretty affordable. We could get a place for 300. Electricity and water was what brought our bill up, but after that, like now, it's like the least amount that you'll pay for rent over there is like 500 and up. Like, it's because everybody wants to live there. It's so beautiful. Another thing I will say, if you want to go to Da Nang as an English teacher, to be able to get the work permit, you need a certificate saying that you've worked for at least 3 years. So they have that barrier where they don't have it in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi. They have it in Da Nang, where you have to have 3 years experience documented that you've done somewhere, anywhere, to be able to get the work permit. That's another thing. After the visa and flight, packing, and once you get your apartment, finding work. I would not recommend coming to Vietnam and finding work. I did that, and it was not very smart of me. I would recommend getting a job outside of Vietnam. Also, make sure you do your research on the company you decide to go with. There's consulting agencies, there's groups on Facebook as well for that one. find the job before you enter, because then when you enter, you can enter on a business visa. So you don't have to do the 90-day tourist visa. If you find a job before you get to Vietnam, you can do the they could enter on the business visa and work with them. I'm gonna have to make a separate video for working in Vietnam in companies, because there's a lot. It's a lot, but just the basic, like moving here, getting the apartment, those are the basically how you could start. And a lot of the apartments in Vietnam come fully furnished. You can also get one that doesn't have any furnishing. Those ones are a little bit cheaper, but fully furnished, most of the houses are ready to move in. I have groups that I can recommend on Facebook that will be helpful to find some of these apartments. But once you find the apartment here and a job, like, you are set to go. The visa process for the work permit takes a few months, or it could be quick if you come in on business visa. But most of the contracts are about a year, and that's another thing, do not expect to be making big money here. Like, the quality of life is high, it's good, but the salary, that's another thing about the salary. It's only paid once a month. I think I mentioned that in another video, but it's only paid once a month, so don't expect to be coming here and making a lot of money. You're coming here and making a decent amount to live. You're making enough to live, not to thrive. But if you're coming here as a digital nomad, you'll thrive. Trust me. And lastly, yeah, that's moving to Vietnam. I think this video was getting long, so I'm gonna stop it here, but yes.